Hello, I'm back just for a quick moment, but my Catland video just uploaded, and so in this video, I just want to talk. You know how so I heard that some people who busk on the streets. Excuse me. I heard some people who busk on the streets. I heard that they're not even homeless, but some people who do busk on the streets are homeless. Hold on. But some people who do busk on the streets are homeless. But I mean, here in Pensacola, you know what I mean? Oh, wow. Here in Pensacola, you know what I mean by when I say only a special kind of certain kind of people will be busking for 8 hours and they'll be lucky if they get $2 and they're still out there all day, every day. And then, excuse me, if you also like busking for 2 hours and you look a certain kind of way, if you get what I mean, and you can go home with hundreds of dollars every day. And like you can see a homeless black man who could sing his ass off. But, a financially well off white man that's playing the flute or something, they'll go to him and give him a whole lot more money rather than the poor homeless black man, and then you kick him down and blame him for whatever failures or problems he got in his life. Hold on. Sorry about that. But y'all blame him, for his failures in life, and you don't even know what he might have went through, or what he might have gone through, pretty much, So, but then again, it could be vice versa. That popular homeless person that's black that don't really have much talent at all, but people wonder, well, damn, did he do a witchcraft spell on somebody? How the hell he get all the money to go to him? And there's a whole bunch of quite a few different homeless people busking, well, on Palafox Street downtown, or here in Pensacola, or if you're on Main Street downtown Greenville, South Carolina, or Canal Street or Bourbon Street, or anywhere in the French Quarter downtown New Orleans, or if you are on let me see, anywhere on Skid Row downtown LA, if you're on Broadway on downtown LA or something like that, So I mean, some people have their own little brand or their own creativity. I'm not that good with developing a brand or running a business or nothing like that. But with narcissistic abusers, they feel like if I don't know how to run a business, then I have no business trying to. But the thing is, why don't I have a right to learn? And people just leave me hanging and think that I should go just learn and figure it out all by myself. Like nobody's gonna help me or nobody, give me tips or advice, if I ask for them. But unsolicited advice that I didn't ask for about certain different topics, not just running a business, but anything in life. Unsolicited advice that I didn't ask for that seemed more to belittle or try to control me. That's what I reject. But if it's something that if I know you really care about me and have my best interest at heart, and I see you that you want to see me do better, try to better myself, then, you know, I'll take that advice. But if you just meddle and butt in and be like, you ain't got no business doing this, because I'm not going to take that advice. I was told to not take negative advice that's going to kick me down and hold me back, and only to listen to things that's inspiring or to help, excuse me, help lift me up or help me better myself, But at the same time, they have some fake nice people who will pretend to front like they're helping you to better yourself, but then they lead you down a dangerous road that seems like it's, once you fall into that trap, it seems like it's nearly impossible to get out. So, and then you get blamed for it while they kick back and laugh, while they pretended to be fake nice and led you on to think that they're helping you in the right direction. So, well, hold on. So, me trying to go off camera and go clear my nose out and stuff. So then, so on YouTube, I suck. I tried quite a few times, and I just suck at trying to design my own Teespring shirt. I am not good at art, and so but my books. I mean, I got a couple in little sales, but what if I would have had done like Teespring or something similar with some mugs, cups, t-shirts, caps, hoodies with the brand, my own brand, and call it targeted by the psych world. But people wouldn't really try to, help me with that, So, I mean, I try to do it on my own. And I tried to go to the mall, and they had that narcissistic, abusive guy who was, in my I mean, he was in his early 20s, and he was so abusive that I just cut the transaction with him. I switched my mind, and he didn't act like he was trying to help me or have my best interest at heart. I forgot everything he said, but he would just try to make it like, oh, you do it this way because it will look right and this and that. But like, what if it's the way that I want it? So, but somebody's a narcissistic abuser. If you don't do things their way, then you'll look like a fool, or you look really stupid, or nobody's gonna buy your stuff. Because that's what I was trying to do last year, just before Alex ran me out of Pensacola last June. Trying to get some t-shirts made, and just walk around at least with my own t-shirt. And I mean, I'm not that good with being artsy and being perfect and neat with everything, at least not 100%. But that guy just wanted to try to belittle me and put me down and be just so rude. And I say I don't remember everything he said, but he was so abusive and rude that I just, got away from him. And he probably was a perp. But then he probably was a perp who didn't want me to get my shirts sold. But he was nice and normal to everybody else, black or white. But I think he told me he was Hispanic. But he seemed very, very controlling and mean. Young ass kid. Not a child, but very, very young. And that's the only place of business in the mall where I'm sorry, the only place of business here in Pensacola that I can go. The only place of business here in Pensacola that I can go to you know, that will make t-shirts or something like that. Or if I could have, just have my own brand of, targeted by the psych. I'm targeted by the psych world, and let the whole world know I'm targeted by the psych world. And so I can be walking down Panama Fox Street downtown, and people be like, "Well, what is that? What do you mean targeted by the psych world?" And and then, you know, or I could be, have a shirt that says on the front, "Target." I'm I'm targeted by the psych world, and on the back, I can, people on the back of my shirt can say, "Trust Jesus today," or something like that. And that's, a thought, but a narcissistic abuser would be like, that's a silly idea that doesn't go to that those two ideas are silly and incoherent and don't go together. You know. So I mean, I have a right to, you know, have my own creativity as well. No matter what I do, people always have something to say. Like in 2000, between 2007 and 2009, I thought about the idea of using my Social Security Pass program uh, voucher or whatever, or something like that, to be able to start my own business having a casserole and like soup and casserole restaurant, and also have some baked desserts and goodies and stuff too. But then, people online were very harsh, rude, and abusive to me and treated me like I didn't have a right to even ask questions about it. And, try to just block me from any my desire for any success or anything like that. And so I mean, but then again, me being targeted, I don't think my business will last long, because if the idea that nobody wants to buy from you, and a narcissistic person will be like, that's why nobody wants to buy your books, or that's why nobody wants to do any business with you, or you're such a horrible person. And then they act like they think that they're God judging me as a horrible person. They act like they think they're God judging and condemning me as a horrible person with no rights at all. They have every right to do whatever evil and wickedness that they want, hardcore, and they can exercise their fake right to eliminate me off the face of this earth and get rid of me and kill me if they wanted to. If they really think that they have that much right, they think that they have, they think that they can kill my soul as well. You know, they think that they can kill my mind, my body, and my soul. But how come, people on Instagram can have their own businesses and sell, purses and accessories, or they can sell soap? My own biological brother, Pete, 4 years ago, no, almost 5 years ago, he tried to tell me that I can't go and try to learn how to make soap and then sell it. So if I can't learn how to make soap and then sell it, but everything is harder because of COVID-19 right now, and then the fact that the perps play with my mail at Waterfront Mission. So I mean, I even a few years ago, like a couple of years ago in 2018, when I was dealing with workplace mobbing and had to quit, and at working at the zoo, um, I even tried the local flea market in Algiers, and it didn't seem promising. And I don't remember exactly what happened, why I couldn't do it, but I do know one of the reasons that hardly anybody goes there. And then the Hispanics run it, and they only allow business with their own people, and you're not allowed, or so it's like a lot of them like dominate and take over, the flea market, and it's like hardly anybody, and it's only them doing business with their own people. And if a black or a white person try to American our people, Cajuns and Creoles and stuff, we try to go there and get treated like we don't have a right to be there, like we got no business being there. Well, I wonder how the hell you immigrate here and stuff like that, So if they can, and even in Los Angeles, I was wondering how the illegal Mexicans in Los Angeles were allowed to run a business like selling orange juice on the streets, or their tacos. The people from El Salvador selling their pupusas, like whatever tacos, pupusas, tamales, fruit, or if they want to have their own little flea market, the police don't crack down. The police leave them alone. But if you're a black person and you go on the Blue Line train, all your stuff get all the stuff you're trying to sell. If you're trying to sell some earbuds like these, or some generic Beats by Dre or something like that, and you don't have a license, then the police will confiscate your stuff, your belongings, and all your money, plus put you in jail for I don't know how long amount of time. But and the illegal Hispanics in Los Angeles, the police or nobody questions them about the health department or any of that. They don't have, they don't have a permit to sell, or like a health department inspections or none of that. And the black people in Los Angeles have warned me, telling me, be careful, because they tell me that those Hispanics that sell the tacos and pupusas, they're nasty. They say that the Mexicans and Hispanic people are very nasty people, and they say that the stuff that they try to cook, that is poor hygiene or whatever. But even when I was in New Orleans, I try to, look into an idea of getting a cottage license, a cottage permit, or something, whatever that's called, where you can bake goods or sell goods out of your own home. But back in the day, I'm from New Orleans. Back in the day, people used to call them, I heard before I was born, they used to call them huckabucks, if y'all know what I mean. But when I was a little kid, they were called cold cups or frozen cups. It's kind of somewhat similar to snowballs or snow cones. So a couple of years ago, with me selling the ice cream and chocolate covered frozen bananas and all that at the zoo, I thought about wanting to try to maybe see about getting any help, or what help could I get to start my own business from my own home, and people can come, or even if it's not my own home, maybe if I can sell it on Canal Street, or if I can have my own food truck. They wanted, like, I was not allowed. I even tried to work at the flea market in New Orleans. I mean the French market downtown New Orleans, close to the French Quarter, by where the riverfront streetcar and everything is. They bullied me. The security guard bullied me out of the office and would not allow me to ask for help. That was a perk. And so they blocked every way that they could. They blocked me, from trying to, even the legal way of trying to get a business run. But back then, even before Hurricane Katrina, like in 2004 and 2005, I was living in New Orleans Towers. They had a lady, I think she was deaf and partially deaf, and her name was Miss Barbara. And she used to sell pecan pie and pralines and everything. Nobody, and she didn't have to have a license or health inspection or anything. That's just more government control, because the government don't care about us. We all know that. Well, we all should know that. So they don't want independent and private businesses to flourish. And it's like it seems like they're trying very hard to try to coerce people into being a puppet for the New World Order if we want any kind of success or anything. But they're coming at you hardcore with it now. They were. It's like back then, people used to be able to run daycares without a license, without a business license, and without having to go to school. But then you have to get a business license and go to school now, and then background check and all that. I remember when I was 14 years old, I didn't need, and even I think I tried later on too, try to volunteer at nursing homes. A couple of years ago, about 3 years ago, I tried to see about working at a nursing home. They wanted a background check. Back then, we didn't have to have a background check, and they wanted an extensive background check. But how if they wanted an extensive background check, but at that same nursing home was the same nursing home that my biological mom, Frances, was, staying at. And then I heard that, she was residing there, but I heard she died. I don't know if she died there or if she died in the hospital. But, when I went back to my hometown, New Orleans, and when I lived in Jefferson, Louisiana, part of, Shrewsbury, part of New Orleans, and I didn't realize I lived kind of down the street, from where that on Jefferson Highway in Jefferson, and then you go further down, it's Elmwood and Harahan, and then further that way it's Metairie. So and then that way it's New Orleans, uptown. So nobody really want to help me in the right direction, to my own private or personal business. But I figure if I were to sell, frozen cups out of my own Section 8 home, or if I were to run Airbnb without Section 8 knowing, I can get in big trouble for that. Or I can get in big trouble for selling food without a license. I mean, I've seen videos of police officers bullying kids for selling lemonade without a license. And it seems like the only way a child can sell lemonade now is if they're part of an organization with a church, or like Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, or Girl Scouts selling cookies and stuff like that. So I mean, and I hear about if you try to run your own independent business and you want everything to be organic, authentic, and natural, you're not allowed to do that. You have to do it the government's way, and they want everything to be forced to be tainted. And then the only way, and then people feel obligated to sell out to get more success so they can make their own living for their families. And I heard about, the Indian farmers being forced to commit suicide over, the government, our American government going over there and invading their country and, trying to steal their rice businesses. Can't y'all believe that's some sad stuff? Ain't that sad? So I also heard about how places like Canada and even here in the U.S., if somebody try to run a business, I mean, they try to plant crops to grow, and then, the government would taint them with chemtrails or spray inorganic GMO seeds, and they wonder why their plants are growing funny. And then the government come and confiscate and blame it on them and falsely accuse them. And that's like you become a targeted individual. Like I've heard some people end up becoming targeted individuals for some fucked up, silly, and unfair reasons. From getting into an argument with your neighbor to decide if you decide your child want to bring a Bible to school, or if you want to collect rainwater, you become a terrorist and put on a terrorist watch list. So I know I kind of got off topic, but the idea of people trying to do their own thing and run their own business without government interference. But I know people, because I'm a targeted individual, if I were to try to make and sell frozen cups or brownies or something like that, if I was still living in Jefferson, Louisiana, or Gretna, New Orleans, or whatever, that because I'm targeted is the reason why people would tell on me, or they would, but people with no authority would aggressively demand an answer for whether or not I have a license or a permit, or they'll be like, what? Could they be narcissistic abusers who act like they think they got so much power over you? Like, why can't a person just mind their own business? And if they have a problem with, if they think that you weren't inspected by the health department, why don't they just not do business with you? But no, they feel like it's their duty to go and report you to the health department, and then you can get in all kinds of trouble. So, but I mean, this is a little different from running your own business. But say if you volunteer even if you're a church and you go and volunteer and cook and feed for cook for and feed the homeless, the police crack down on it. I've heard the police pour bleach into garbage so homeless won't go and eat out of the garbage cans, and that innocent good food is just thrown away for nothing, and all that food thrown away, and then the police pour bleach on it, or the idea that it's like they want to keep people down and not allow people to elevate themselves. So I'm questioning, like, if they have so many mass amount of gang stalkers in this world, even here in America alone, how the hell is almost everybody one paycheck away from homelessness, or almost everybody's financially struggling when most people have their own car and a decent place to live? There are more housed people than homeless, but an increase of homelessness now. But if you go around gang stalking people, how the hell are you financially struggling? People talking about me, the narcissistic people who think they have authority over me, they falsely assume that I don't manage my money properly. So if people try to say that, oh, I know people who live decently off of $600 a month, but then they're the same ones crying about the $600 stimulus check, saying that it's not enough. So tell me how I can live off of $600 a month. It's their so-called rules and regulations that I have to have an income 3.5 times the rent in order to be sure that I can, that there will be no trouble of paying rent on time every month. And I had to deal with abusive, rude, narcissistic landlords telling me that nobody will rent to me because my income's so low. And they treat me like it's my fault that my income is low. So, back to my topic, about talking about the idea of, busking, downtown or whatever. People have their own little brand of, their way of starting business online or whatever. I heard about diversifying your income. And then, it seems like Penny Hoarder, the Penny Hoarder, Money Pantry, and Rat Race Rebellion, and Money Crashers, and a few other similar websites. It seems like I've been searching for years, and everything seems like false hope. And a lot of these apps I get rejected. Like I try to apply to work for Grubhub, that got rejected instantly. I applied for, you know, this, applied for that. I applied for Rover, they rejected me. I, I think I applied for WAG, they rejected me. And then it seems like some people think that it's profitable to do surveys. I'm not gonna deal with um 30 hours a day working on a survey just to get paid 15 cents. That's too time consuming. It's not productive for me. Surveys, I don't have time for those surveys. Plus, they ask you questions that seem like they promote conformity to the world and, materialism and stuff, and not, of course, ain't no surveys gonna, glorify God, So, I'm not wasting so much time on that. And I don't have all that many skills to do something like teach a class on Udemy. But I tried to apply for VIP Kid. They turned me down. I tried to see about teaching English in China. That's a whole different video. I had to deal with gang stalking and racism. And what they did, I think I even talked about it already before. But there was this opportunity for me to even go teach English in Spain. I never got a call back. That was a couple of years ago. And so, out of desperateness, I tried what I could. Of course, I tried a cab driving job. I tried whatever I could. But, I mean, it seems like Money Pantry and the Penny Hoarder and stuff is useful for other people. But I guess because of my circumstances and I don't have that many resources and I don't have a freaking car, is one of some of the things, that would be holding me back from getting to do some of those kinds of jobs, Because it seemed like I did not realize that with the car, you can go so much farther and have like way better job opportunity. Because they want you with reliable transportation, meaning your own car. And certain jobs have rejected me because I don't have my own car, and taking the bus is not acceptable. Me trying to rent a room, they want you with a job and your own car and proof of insurance just to go rent a room for $500 a month. Renting an apartment doesn't even qualify that you have your own car or whatever, but they do require you to have, your own job, or Social Security is never enough. Unless you on, Section 8 or low income housing. I'm still on that housing list and been on there almost 2 years and no luck yet. So, I wanted to say that if people can do, they bring the tea, the gossip. If they can but I mean, I understand for them to get rich and popular, they sell their soul. But I don't want to do that. I just want to be authentic and, just have everything come from me. Because I'm wondering if there are puppets and told what to present and get paid to be told what to present of, people who are high paid YouTube bloggers, or they have their own blog, or if they're YouTube famous, YouTube bloggers, if they're mukbang or celebrity gossip, or if they come to bring the news about, like, okay, they have this guy, he called himself Willie D Live, and he always has like the most extreme, like craziest news about, a lot of times it'd be like, and he can have a PayPal and Cash App and have ads on his page and stuff like that. And, I ain't gonna lie, he has that Masonic kind of look, though. He looks Masonic. But he looked like the type of person who walked around with a Freemason ring. But, they hurt me right here. right when after I talked about the Freemason ring, they hit me with the energy weapons right here. So he looked like the type of person who would, I mean, I'm not saying he's a Freemason. I'm just saying he got that kind of look. And he had even kind of act that way too, But I don't know him that well. I'm just saying how he seems on the, on the videos and stuff. But he get paid, like he get paid to present videos about bizarre news about how a female sociopath, you know, who would go kill off her boyfriend and her boyfriend's whole entire family, and get arrested and go to jail. He'll get paid, to present news on videos such like that, and do a commentary on it. But if some people might run ads and present maybe some plays or something. I don't even think people do plays anymore, but like skits or something like that. And people like that content and they get paid, But me being a targeted individual is what I'm trying to get at. Well, just like a homeless person is not allowed to ask for any money, and try to survive and try to stay out the cold. Because this week is supposed to be beautiful temperature, but this coming week, next week, it's supposed to be like in the 70s. We haven't had that in quite a few weeks in a while. But it's supposed to rain on the days with that beautiful temperature, though. It's supposed to rain on those days. And then after Wednesday or Thursday, it's supposed to be back to getting cold and back in the 30s and 40s again. So, and that's when I'm supposed to go back on the streets. But, so it's like, why can't I, even though I also put it in book form and try to sell it on Amazon, and also some other books like my nonfiction books and a few others, that I have in the works or in plan. And but it seems like it's almost pointless to try to chase after any success nowadays. But now it's not about me trying to chase after success like I used to when I was younger and didn't know any better and didn't know the truth about things. But nowadays it's like just trying to chase after just plain old simple. It ain't simple. But the reason why I say simple because success is, you ain't got to try to fight to survive. But this is just plain old trying to fight to survive. And I figure that if I may sound lame and corny, I have a bachelor's degree, but, I haven't been able to do anything with that ever since I got the degree back in 2006. So it's been 14 years. And so I haven't been in school in quite a long time. And so me being similar to like, an amateur writer and I'm just starting out, give me a break. Give me a break. But I'm going to tell you, Shit's Yuck Team K has all the rude things to say. So you don't want to be exposed, but you keep harassing and messing with me. So I didn't ask her to do this. She volunteered on her own harassment and abuse to come do this. Well, I already told y'all about, on my gang stalking book. Let's revisit this. When one person said very truthful and enlightening account of life as a targeted individual, who he gave me a five star. Thank you. I don't know if it's a guy or a female, but thank you so much. Thank you for being supportive of me. But he said, this is a shockingly sad and enraging account of this woman's life while being a subject of organized criminal gang stalking. The honesty displayed in this book shows extreme courage from the author. I am also a victim of this murder/genocide program and have experienced many of the same abuses. I can say with 100% certainty that this is a very real problem happening right now on a global scale. And he made a positive review on my narcissistic abusers book as well. So here go this bitch. So she tried to say I read this from and when I and in her words, when I first saw her say this, I almost cried. But this is what she wanted. But then she tried to make it like as if she elevates herself to be higher and better and superior. She said, I read this from the internet free. It is not worth paying for. Promoting mental illness as a reality is a slippery slope. While they need support, it should be given in ways that do not condone their delusions. It's you who's delusional, because you will perp people, and I have numerous evidence of you perping, and then you'll try to gaslight and lie and say nobody's gang stalking you. You are wicked to the core. So she said, while they need support, it should be given in ways that do not condone their delusions. What is described in this pamphlet is just not real. How do you know that? And what authority do you have to even say that? And say it has no basis in reality. To be believable, anyone who wears a red shirt or drives a white vehicle is a Satanist. We don't do that. But we see you acting a certain way or doing some street theater along with those colors, then we have a right to say something. But I've had people gang stalk me in the same color as this dress right here, whether it be a t-shirt or a vehicle. It's more like, that's why it's more than just the color, but watch how they move. So she said, to be believable, anyone who wears a red shirt or drives a white vehicle is a Satanist, receiving money to only merely drive past the author and annoy her, or playing music louder than she likes. Lady, you going to hell for this? Yeah, you going to, I'm going to say it the New Orleans way. Lady, you going to hell for this? Yeah, you going to hell for this. Every idle word that you speak, let me find that Bible scripture. And I know that applies to me too. Matthew 12:36. I ain't trying to be a preacher, but I'm just reading the scripture. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. So this lady thinks this is a game, and you're almost 60 years old. So she said, or playing music louder than she likes, or leaving the headlights on during the daytime, even though that is no, it's not a standard safety measure, because even in the 90s, a lot of older model cars, people don't have, I was taught in driver's ed that during the daytime, you don't have lights on unless it's about to rain or it's raining, or unless it's overcast or cloudy. But if it's sunny and bright and you come with the LED lights, blinding your lights and trying to hurt my eyes and everything, I'm trying to blind my eyes and hurt my eyes and everything, that's a harassment tactic. So, you cannot gaslight God, and he sees everything, and he sees what each of his children have to suffer through, the persecution that any of us have to suffer through. So she said, or leaving the headlights on during the daytime, even though that is a standard safety measure on cars for around 20 years. Not when I was driving. Not when I had my car. Not when I took driver's ed. I wasn't taught that. And I've went numerous years without seeing people do that. But one headlight out, if I did that, I'd get pulled over. So the police only have time for who they want to have time for. And if a targeted individual were to report any abuse that they go through, they will either have to experience the police try to, if you get a whole raped or beat up, if the police refuse to take your case and say that, they don't want to do the paperwork, or they'll laugh at you and say they don't believe you. And so, or they have time to pull over a targeted individual for, if they unintentionally sped a little too fast in a car. But if you one of them, they let you off. They let you off, and then they'll say that they didn't feel like dealing with the paperwork. You see how they manipulate things into their benefit, and only give their Masonic buddies, or their if they give their Masonic buddies or sellouts, a pat on the back, because you ever heard of Aleister Crowley, do what thou wilt? Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. That's like a perversion of, choose Joshua 24:15. That's like a perversion. But the Masonic and Satanic kind of do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. And Jay-Z promotes that. And let's see, is it? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think it is Aleister Crowley that said that. So then she goes on to say, the author does not understand much of what triggers her. How can you say that from a stranger? You don't even know me. But you're narcissistic enough to feel like you got so much to say about me. So then she says, seeing the same car at the same place at the same time is surely a plot against her, not someone who has a regular work schedule driving to the same workplace from the same residence. Come on, bitch, don't be stupid. You work too hard to go around doing this to people. You need to be put to a stop. No sense is used at all, common or otherwise. Like narcissistic abuser trying to put me down. Nah, her ass is a freaking sociopath. But she's the one who's mentally ill. The fact that you feel the need to be obsessed with my mental condition, my mental health. Just that's why a lot of us targeted individuals we dread the abuse and torture that they're tormenting us. And that lady is hoping that I die, and she wants me to kill myself. I said she act like she so badly wants me to kill myself. But the harassment gets more intensified when I haven't killed myself, or when I don't do anything to myself. But she thinks that she can use her words, cyberbullying, to try to manipulate me into to offer myself. Damn, I never seen anybody who this is strange for me to deal with this. Somebody who's another female in the dip. She reminds me of the two devil worshippers on Yahoo Answers in 2007, ETX Yellow Rose and Gothic Martha. I didn't know they were two Satanists, and I didn't know they were gang stalkers, and this was back in 2007. And so she said, yeah, no sense is used at all, common or otherwise. The writing is awful, the style is childish, and it is a waste of money because the author also promotes it as a free file online. Well, that ain't your business. But you have a problem. You're the same lady who has a problem with me staying in hotel rooms. So she said, save yourself time. Look, she didn't even say save yourself. She said, save yourself time, money, and properly functioning brain cells, and look for something else. The devil, she must have conjured up a devil, she must have conjured up a devil in order to, go out of her way to say something, just, say something like that. And that's why I try to block her on the fact that she stalked and followed me everywhere online. That's what makes her worse. Because ETX, Yellow Rose, and Gothic Martha, they only harassed me everywhere on Yahoo Answers years ago. And now Stars 15K, she's even on my anonymous questions, she some kind of way recently found my anonymous questions and go answer rudely and abusive, So on my narcissistic abusers book, a guy gave me, a good review, and he said, the same guy, Five Thumbs. If it's a female, then I'm sorry, but I like that the author tells it like it is. I appreciate the scripture woven through this book as well as the links added for further research. Thank you so much. And guess what? Oh, you know what? This might be a female. I think I know who this is. Thank you for the compliments. So, this is the other one. Shits Yacht Team K gave a 1 star and said, like, why do you need to comment on the same one book twice on 2 different websites? Like, this is what she said. The themes, she said, wow, a book to miss. She said, the themes and language, this is off my first volume of short stories. She said, the themes and language of the book is off somehow. Is the author an adult? If so, she writes like a child. Each story grinds to a conclusion with no real insight. Well, they're short stories, and I'm a beginner at this. People need to stop being so hard on me. I can get better and improve, but her goal is to try to drive me to want to give up writing and just stop writing, period. Yeah, if you don't know how to be narcissistic abusers expect you to be a freaking expert at something. If you're not an expert, then you don't have a right to even learn. She said each story grinds to a conclusion with no real insight into anything the characters do, as if the author is out of ideas and wants to wrap things up in the last paragraph. That's not true. But then I'd be sleep deprived, and it's y'all fault. Y'all keep trying to keep me sleep deprived and think that shit is funny. And then, if they probably manipulate and alter things as well, to make me sound more incoherent than, if they try to make me sound retarded and incoherent, because, wait, on this website about the exposed gang stalking, yeah, the stupidware and automated typos. Yeah, so, and I've had that too, the stupidware, automated typos. I talked about it earlier. So she said character development is non-existent, and any attempt made is in confusing non sequiturs, set in parentheses, sometimes multiple times in a sentence. I didn't ask you, it's not your place to judge, especially if you want to brag about reading my shit for free. And she said, these stories are difficult to read with understanding, with the vocabulary steeped in conspiracy theory and mental illness. Well, your ass is brainwashed. You're a brainwashed dummy. Now, if you shun conspiracy theories, then you're stupid, and you're the one who you're stupid, and you actually show how little bit of an intelligence you have. I'm pretty sure my grammar is a lot. Some people tell me that I write very well. So she wants to say it's just a confusing mess. Well, don't read it then. Nobody told you to. But people like her get scared and freak out and have meltdowns when people say that they wish that the gang stalkers, that we wish the worst would happen to gang stalkers, or if we wish death on them, or if we wish something bad happened to them. But in the fleshly mind, we'll get mad and say stuff. If we allow our flesh to get the best of us, but then it's very hard, but we try to pray for our enemies and stuff like that. While our enemies are praying against us, they're praying for our destruction. But we don't go around bullying and harming people. Nobody told her to do this. And she said, as a reader of both Faulkner and Kafka, I know short stories done right are wonders. This collection only makes me wonder why I wasted my time. Come on, you doing this shit on purpose. She just want to try to shut down my reviews because some people go look at the reviews before they decide they want to read the book. So on a free ebooks website, I'm not gonna, since that is so controlled and everything. That's why I don't I don't want to go back on there. Plus, you know, this is her review, and I reported her, and then I try to let the website know, and they deleted my comment, and while they allowed hers to stay. And she said, obviously, the same book, has minor modifications, but the same book, she said, she said, obviously, this collection was written by someone not familiar with normal adult interactions. The fifth grade writing style does not help in that and it's the same book, but a different review. The fifth grade writing style, and she didn't even spell writing properly, so she can make typos and mistakes. The fifth grade writing style does not help in that it rings too true to the author being both mentally and developmentally challenged. It's good she's trying, but the trials are not good. I know that's her. She calls herself Star on here. It reads like the dictation of an 8-year-old's horrible accounting of a horrible life. So if you plaster yourself everywhere, just, have a lot of bent up anger and frustration about me, and so here's, a person, I don't want to reveal his name, me respecting his privacy. But he said, reading this material was a breath of fresh air, and he gave me 5 stars. Every passage is so well crafted that it seems like you're living the stories yourself. The trials of what you describe a targeted individual goes through seems otherworldly, intensely disturbing, and outright horrific. But your ability to make sense of these complex themes and provide a sense of hope for these victims through your word shadings of perseverance, hope, and strength keep the reader engaged and curious about finding out about this targeted individual phenomenon. I definitely look forward to reading more of your writings. So thank you so much for, so I'm glad there are a few people who appreciate me. Noise harassment. So, I'm glad they have a few people who trying to encourage me, because people who don't want me driving or think I have no business driving. You have a right to serve Satan, but I can't drive a car. You have a right to serve Satan, but I can't go to the beach. You have a right to serve Satan, but I don't have a right to run my own business. You have a right. It's a whole noise campaign. But you have a right to do noise campaigns at 2 o'clock in the morning. But I don't have a right to eat a bowl of grits. I'm gonna keep talking about it. I'm gonna keep bringing it up because y'all the ones who said this. Because y'all know y'all dirty, and y'all know that what y'all doing is wrong. Because if you thought you were right, why do you need to drive off when I put your ass on film? Because you want to gaslight and make it like you're so innocent. But in God's eyes, you're not innocent. And us targeting individuals, in our eyes, you're not innocent. So, you're wasting your life. If you follow and stalk and harass somebody, and especially if you're being unpaid. So who's the greedy one here? A person trying to make an honest living, or somebody who's a person trying to make an honest living, or somebody who's trying to you know, take a quick, just a quick deal. All you gotta do is, however they sell their souls out and become a perp. You took just a quick deal and take the so-called the fake easy way out and the lazy way out and become a perp, and you get paid to torment and harass and try to kill people. But you call me greedy for trying to make an honest living. If you don't appreciate my work, another person has a right to appreciate my work. Because you think it's shitty, they don't have to agree with your opinion to think my work is shitty. So the fact that you follow me, everywhere. And I don't know if I ever see this lady, I don't think I'll ever see her in life. But she always the first one to holler and cry about people doxing her and invading her privacy and stuff like that. But who invaded whose privacy? When bitch, you got my phone number, and I know I didn't give it to you. But how did you get my phone number? How you got my phone number? I'm pretty sure Brian too didn't give you all 6 of his emails, did he? How do you get all his emails or any other perp? And then she tried to tell me you didn't blame Brian too for tracking you, huh? You want to be Brian too. And so it's like, I don't understand how a married woman who brags about all her possessions, her house, car, and family, and husband, and kids, and grandkids, well, why do you need, if you have all these great things, then why do you need to be overly obsessed with my life and tracking what I do 24/7? And I'm in a whole different city and state as you. And then she tried to gaslight me and deny that she tried to gaslight and deny when I called her out exposed her about her making a fake YouTube account and calling herself Alf Handler. When me and that fake T.I. perp Melvin, I didn't know he was a fake T.I. perp at the time, but when I was talking to him on the phone about Alf, and how the hell, was she able to hear my conversation about Alf? And then she come on YouTube and make a fake account and call herself Alf Handler. You're not my handler. Alex is not my handler. DJ is not my handler. None of y'all, my twin sister is not my handler. Stank whore Lanika from the Stankin' Craft family, you're not my handler. None of y'all Stankin' Craft family. Adrian Felder, the fake Foster family, the fake IDMR cult, West Jefferson High School, anybody who used to bully, harass, and laugh at me, none of y'all my freaking hand. The fake LA people, and, people in New York, none of y'all are my handlers. I'll say it again, you're not my handler. You do not have rulership over me. And if somebody has a right to worship Satan, then I have a right to not wear a mask. I have a right to not have to get a vaccine. Are you going to tell the government if you don't want to get a vaccine, the same people who say, oh yeah, they have a right to serve Satan? Well, are you going to fight for your right to not get a vaccine? Because now I'm hearing that Biden, wants over 100 million people vaccinated and within 100 days, and in order to get the next vaccination, in order to get that 1,400, you have to be vaccinated. Like, who the hell will sell their soul for $1,400 and then die a couple of days later or almost instantly? So that's really crazy right there. That the government, I know that it's like they laid the groundwork to, manipulate humanity and counting on humanity to be stupid and not smart enough and not able to fight back. And that's one of the reasons why Satan wanted us dumbed down and under strong delusion, because so that we would be too dumb to fight back, and so that we can be manipulated and brainwashed into idolizing our oppressor, and most of the time without even realizing it. So if I mean, I'm just wondering if I can do this kind of like, it's not called busking, but it's kind of like somewhat similar to busking, except I'm just doing my short stories. And people who busk on the streets, some of them may not be the best musician, and and I've heard some people say that they respect homeless people. They respect homeless people who would do busking or something like that rather than just an idle beggar. But I wish people would stop being so judgmental and understand where we're coming from. The fact that we're blacklisted, the challenges that homeless have to face. Um, the challenges that homeless have to face. So, I'm gonna stop right here on this topic. Because I was just saying, like, why can't I do my short stories, you know, kind of like an somewhat similar to an online busking for like on the streets with music. It's a different kind of form of creativity and artwork. If I can be busking, online for, with the short stories or and stuff like that, my content, and you know, hopefully that can be my living. And that's not what you call being greedy. It's work. It's like my own art, my own creativity and artwork. So why don't I have a right to do that? And then you're the same person who try to block me from working. You got something to say about everything I do. And then you try to block me from working, but then you make it like as if I'm just greedy and that I'm a scammer trying to get over on everybody and that I just use people for pity and money and stuff like that, and just their smear campaigns and lies. But you go around exploiting and hurting people for money when you go around perping people. But here I'm not trying to hurt anybody, and I'm trying to make an honest living. Aside from my SSI and Social Security. And some people say that supplemental, like I heard some people say that government assistance is not meant for people to live off of forever. Some people say that, that it's supposed to be meant to be temporary. But at the same time, I know how the government make us disabled and quote unquote lazy and disabled on purpose so that we can be forced to depend on them so that they can crush us and call us useless eaters and stuff like that. So thanks for listening. And so I would never be the type of person who would hold you at psychological and mental gunpoint to, try to, make you, but I'm saying it's your own free will choice. If you want to help me out, with book sales, or if I read the stories on YouTube, and if you want to, on your own free will, donate something, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But, thanks, and I'll see y'all a little later. I'm going to try to work on the other short story. I think that's what I'm going to work on, the other short story that I had already started working on, but it doesn't have a title yet. But I'm going to come up with something. So I'm going to see y'all in a little bit. All right, bye.